This is New English Ways. The way to think.
The verb to be. Negative form.
Okay, here we go again with another New English Ways class. In this case, we are going to continue practicing the verb to be. This time, the verb to be will be in the negative form, as well simple present, but the negative way. In order to review the simple present, we will remember the forms of the verb to be. There would be an exception with my case, I am. The rest of the people will be combined either with is or are. In this case, you are, he, she, and it, is, you, we, and they are. Okay? Now the negative way, it is only adding the word not to the expression because it's going to be a negative expression. In this case, I will say, I am, affirmative, negative, I am not. And there is one contraction to follow, I'm not. Alright? The second person would be you, affirmative, you are, negative, you are not, or you're not, or you aren't. He, affirmative, he is, or his. Negative, he is not, he's not, or he isn't. Continue with she, affirmative, she is, or she's. Negative, she is not. Contraction 1, she's not. Second contraction, she isn't. The next person would be it. It is, affirmative. Contraction, it's. Negative, it is not. Contraction number 1, it's not. Contraction number 2, it isn't. And then we will go with the plural pronouns. We, affirmative, we are, or we're. Negative, we are not. First contraction, we're not. Second contraction, we aren't. The next person, you. In this case, you is plural. Remember this, is you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and everybody else. You are, affirmative, negative, you are not. Contraction number 1, you're not. Contraction number 2, you aren't. And finally, we finish with this, they. Affirmative, they are, using the contraction, they're. Negative, they are not. Contraction number 1, they're not. Contraction number 2, they aren't. And this is the chart for the negative way in order to combine the verb to be. In the following examples, we will see complete sentences with descriptions or even locations. As I told you before, the verb to be essentially works to describe and locate things. Okay? After this, you will be able to continue practicing. Remember, practicing is homework. Practicing is a must. If you do not practice, you will forget it. That way, we will continue with the next video explaining the interrogative way. And we will have some other dialogues to produce better sentences and longer expressions. See you the next time.
The verb to be. Negative way. Case 1. This is Frank. Frank is a policeman. He's not a simple policeman. He's also a detective. Frank isn't fat. He's a little chubby, but he's very strong too. He's not a captain. He's just another officer. Frank is not my best friend, and he isn't very polite, but he's always ready for an emergency. Frank's a good father, and he really is a loving husband too. The verb to be, negative form. Case 2. They are my classmates, Rick and Mike. Rick and Mike are my friends from grammar school. They are twins, and they're not easy to distinguish one from another. They're twins, but they're not quite the same. Rick is a businessman, and Mike is a chef at the city's Grand Hotel. The verb to be, negative form. Case 3. The concept of family. Family is mother, father, and children. They are the essential concept of family. Grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, nephews or nieces are not family. They are relatives. My parents are still very conservative people, but they aren't too strict. We're not a big family, but we're a great family instead. We aren't French, and we're not German. We're proud to be 100% Mexican.